You had Kansas City's GM Brett Veach in the booth talking to the broadcasters. I thought that he said some pretty noteworthy stuff. One of the things that he said that struck me the most was he said that we want to draft, develop, and extend our own guys, right? We have a culture, we've built a team, we've built an environment that we feel like once we get those people in our ecosystem, it turns them into the type of players that we want, right? That Kansas City culture is something that you can feel. I mean, you get it in the atmosphere, in the environment, in the stadium. You get it on the sideline. You've got Andy Reid, who is just a maestro when it comes to the play calling, and that's top down. Then you go to the quarterback, Pat Mahomes, who's always going to be there. He's always going to be setting the standard. Travis Kelce, I mean, that guy, he speaks for himself. What has he not done? He's going to go down as one of the best tight ends in NFL history, commands respect. And then Chris Jones, guy looks bigger every single time I see him. You see this guy on the sideline and you realize what an elite all pro looks like, right? Not many of those guys walking around Chicago, not saying that they can't turn into that, but you see these like larger than life NFL players roaming the sideline for Kansas City. These guys set and maintain the culture in Kansas City. For Chicago, that culture is ever changing, right? We've got coaches in and out the door, we've got players in and out the door. There's never a sound culture in Chicago that can be established. If you ask, I mean, I'm so proud to be a Chicago Bears fan despite the failures and despite the poor play in recent history. I wear this hat with pride, right? I love the Chicago Bears. It's part of who I am. But I couldn't tell you what our culture is. I could tell you what it used to be, the days of Urlacher, the days of Briggs, right, under Lovie Smith. But since then, there is no culture, right? That's what we're trying to build. And that's what Ben Johnson's job is, right? He's bringing in the right assistant coaches. You hear the interviews from the players. They're doing all the right things. The coaches are grinding. The coaches are riding these guys, making sure they're instilling the right habits and the right expectations, right? They are building a culture from the ground up. And you hope that if this is successful and if we want to do well, this culture starts to feed itself, right? We start to get young guys in the locker room. They jump right into that environment, and hopefully it's a healthy, winning, successful environment. We cultivate that, we grow that, we nurture that. We haven't been able to do that like a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, who can draft a young guy and they come in and they realize real quick that they need to shape it up if they want to fit in with that environment, right? With the Bears, sometimes you get these young guys that what are they joining? A losing environment. They don't want to assimilate to that, right? We've got to build that winning culture.